What's up, Peep Squad? Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. My peeps, my peoples, Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Let's get down to the situation. It seems like Kandi Burruss is feeling a certain type of way about Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's contemplating whether she should stay or whether she should go. Oh, Lord. And also, she says that she does not understand where her and Porsha lied today. You know, their relationship, because at one point it was kind of cordial, but now it's not. Or she's not sure about it. And this is what Kandi Burruss, basically gives off in an interview and she does with the Jasmine brand. It was really kind of confusing. It seems like the Jasmine brand, she asked her concise, consistent questions, but Kandi's answers were kind of shaky. In any event, Kandi just need to be real and be 100. That she don't like Porsha, she don't mess with Porsha, and she really doesn't believe Porsha is out here for Black Lives Matter. Basically, she believes that she might have a motive behind it, but Kandi says whatever motive that Porsha has, it really doesn't matter as long as she uplifts people and get people, to rise up against the system or whatever the case may be. So when you say she has a motive, you don't know what the motive is. It basically seems like Kandi could be saying that, Porsha has a motive. It was her storyline, or she's trying to reinvent herself, or she's trying to start something new, and whatever the case may be, because Porsha did was on Time magazine and things of that nature. But Kandi is questioning the situation. Also, Kandi is saying that the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion is very stressful, and she said especially the reunion with Phaedra Porks on it. It was very, very stressful. And she doesn't really like the reunions because basically it brings up a lot of negative energy and a lot of things that happen throughout the season that they have to discuss and things that they got over and past. Now it brings up vitriol, brings up madness or whatever. But in any event, if you guys really got over it, it wouldn't be, any madness or any cattiness. You know what I mean? If they really got over it. So it seems like a lot of things are very superficial. But in any event, Kandi Burruss explains that the worst reunion of all times was season 9 with Phaedra Parks, when Phaedra Parks, allegedly was spreading a rumor. And, it had to do with Kandi Burruss and what she wanted to do with Porsha Williams. Tucker was included, the dungeon, Blase the third, all types of things going on in the situation. And Kandi basically said that was the hardest reunion of all times. I was like, okay, girl. So, she's still holding on. And she's also trying to let y'all know, and she's trying to let Bravo know that she is not appreciative of you guys dangling Phaedra Parks in her face, especially you, Mr. Andy. You're going to have Phaedra Parks on your show tonight. And everybody's talking about they want Phaedra Parks back, Blase in the third. And not too long ago, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, Kandi Burruss was talking about she gets triggered, about the dungeon, about the situation with Phaedra Parks, and the situation with Porsha Williams. But if that's the case, if you triggered, that means that you ain't never forgave Porsha, number one. And if you triggered about the situation, maybe she's made something new out of the situation by creating the dungeon. And, she's making money off of it. And she's made millions of dollars off the dungeon. Let me tell you, yes, she did. She is flourishing over there. But in any event, maybe the dungeon's okay. Don't trigger her. But when you bring in Phaedra Parks and Porsha Williams' name together, that could be a trigger too as well. But if the dungeon situation that, Porsha Williams and, Phaedra Parks brought up in season 9 and the reunion, if that's really a big trigger, then I think, Kandi may need to move on from the situation. But she says, she has to think about whether she wants to stay or whether she wants to go. So it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think about this situation. But let's just get into it. I was like, damn, Kandi Burruss is letting y'all know that, when she was talking to the Jasmine brand, that she's not really feeling all this Phaedra hype. Really, point blank, period. Because Phaedra's going to be on Watch What Happens Live. She's going to be with Andy asking. She's going to be asked questions about Kandi Burruss. It's like, Lord, it's like they're throwing salt in Kandi's wounds in her face or whatever. Because she said she was triggered. Andy done got Phaedra on there and he's happy. Lord have mercy. What a situation. So if Kandi can't handle the reunions, should she still be on the show? I don't know. You guys tell me. But she basically says the reunions are so difficult for her. Her stomach ties into knots. It's like all these arguing back and forth for hours. Girl, you've been doing this for 12 years. You've been on Real Housewives of Atlanta since season 2. Girl, you ain't used to this shit. You ain't got it down packed. You don't know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and brush the shit off because, girl, you making money out here in these streets. You don't got Bolo or huge a fan base. Your dungeon done blew up, baby. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? So I think that Kandi needs to have thicker skin, but I can't tell Kandi how to feel when it comes to Phaedra Parks. But in any event, Kandi says that she's always here for Real Housewives of Atlanta and what's best for the show. So is Phaedra Parks best for the show? She's best for the show and returning to the show. Should Kandi be open or should she not? Because she always says she's open. And, you know, whatever's best for the show, because she wanted Nene Leakes to stay because she said Nene's good for the show, you know. So what do you guys think about that situation? But moving on past that situation, let's get down to it. Kandi basically says whatever led Porsha, you know, taking action, you know, and speaking up for Black Lives Matter, you know, who cares what her motive was if she did have a motive behind the situation. It just matters that she had inspired people. I was like, okay, Kandi, but in any event, why would there be a motive behind the situation? And, you know, like, why would she say that if someone is actually speaking up for Black Lives Matter and they're protesting? Because we've seen Porsha Williams out here in these streets. You remember when Porsha almost got maced, so she did get maced, and her husband, Dennis McKinley, lost his, you know, cell phone, and it was running into the tunnel in Atlanta when it was out there protesting. So it seems like it was very authentic, or whatever the case is. And if it wasn't authentic in the beginning, that instance right there made it authentic, where Porsha wanted to do something, because she was just out there chilling with, you know, her fiance at the time, Dennis McKinley, and some of her friends, and they get sprayed with mace, and they're running from the popos, they're running from the police, then she's getting arrested. You know, she was basically, you know, I think that first experience with being at the protest open up Porsha where she wanted to do something. Because if you Black and you was at the protest and they spraying mace and you running, it made you think about what happened to our people back in the day when it came to the water holes, when it came to having pit bulls and dogs, you know, coming after our people. So in any event, maybe that had awakened something in Porsha. A lot of people think that Porsha Williams is caping. They don't believe her. They think that she wants to be the only face of Black Lives Matter when it comes to, you know, Bravo and doing things of that nature. But if she kicked it off, you know, she wants to be a part of whatever, you know, has to do with Black Lives Matter. But in any event, the way that Kandi described it, she was like, you know, whatever she did, whether it was good motive or bad motive or whatever her motivation was, you know, it led her to do what she did with her platform, and it had inspired people. But she didn't have to put in, you know, whatever her motive was, or, you know, basically that's saying that what Porsha Williams did, she did it for Black Lives Matter. And I don't know if she addressing the situation of motive, because people were saying that, you know, Porsha wasn't really authentic to the situation, and that would be Miss, you know, Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore basically feels like Porsha, you know, was on some fake-ish, because if she was really about Black Lives Matter, you know, she wouldn't have a problem, and she wouldn't have a situation when it came to Kandi Burruss actually writing a letter to the network Bravo and asking for demands and asking for different things for, you know, in the future. And so, you know, you had that situation. Then they talked about the deleted scenes. And then Porsha ended up getting the scene deleted. But in any event, she got the scene deleted between her and Kenya Moore, and her and, you know, Kandi Burruss. And that was a good situation. But they still left in where Kenya Moore was being negative towards Porsha Williams, because she had experienced something with Porsha as far as these text messages situations that was going down. You know, Porsha showed the text messages where she felt like, you know, she was not talking negative about, you know, Kandi at all, point blank, period. And she wasn't talking negative about, you know, any of the other ladies. So it is what it is with that situation. But when Kandi Burruss addressed the situation, she felt like all the text messages that Porsha shown, on her Instagram wasn't all the text messages, because there was a separate thread where the girls were talking, Nene, Marlo, and Porsha and Tanya Sams. So, Kandi feels like there were negative things said and we didn't see it all. But then on the other flip side, everyone else is saying them were the complete text message. That was a thread between the ladies, unless Marlo showed her something else, because, it is what it is. So you guys let me know what you think about that situation. In any event, I don't think Kandi is feeling Porsha, point blank, period. And I don't think Porsha is feeling Kandi, point blank, period. And, they gonna need it to get it together. I just think Kandi just needs to come out and say, listen, I don't mess with Porsha. I tried to give her a chance. I tried to, I did this, I did that. I don't like the way that Porsha responded to me. I don't like what Porsha did. I don't like what Porsha said. Blase ain't a third. She just needs to come out and say, like, okay, I tried to mend wounds with her, mend fences with her, try to be cool with her, but at the end of the day, I just don't like her. So if, Kandi just come out and say that, it'd be cool. And Porsha, you just need to say, you know what? We could be cordial, but we don't like each other and we don't mess with each other. And that would be a whole new storyline. It would be Porsha battling out Kenya Moore and Kandi Burruss. And then you would have Sidora running in and, doing her splits and slits. So, it is what it is with that situation. So you guys tell me what you think about the situation. In any event, Porsha is going to do her thing regardless of what. Porsha basically says that she wants to be friends with Kandi Burruss. She don't want to disrespect Kandi Burruss in any event. She was a part of Kandi Burruss' PSA, but Porsha didn't invite the ladies to be a part of her PSA because she felt slighted. She felt shaded too as well. And some of the girls are not appreciative of Kandi, going to the production company or the producers, not the producers, Bravo, and having a demand letter and sending them an email and not attaching their name onto it, and not having them privy to the situation, because they did have a group text message where all the ladies were involved and they wanted to do something for Black Lives Matter and use their platforms, but they really wasn't sure what they wanted to do. And Kandi already was reassured of what she wanted to do, so she wrote a letter and then came back and told them the results. And Kandi Burruss says that none of these ladies has ever put her name on an email or attached it to anything and helped her out. So it is what it is. So, Kandi did Kandi and Porsha is doing Porsha. So I think that situation led to the negativity that is going on between, Kandi Burruss and Porsha Williams. So it is what it is. In any event, it just seems like it's shady. So let's move on to that situation. And, I talked about the deleted scenes. And Kandi says that she never knows where her and Porsha stands in the situation, because basically, Kandi Burruss is saying after the episode where she was sitting down with Don Juan and she was having a conversation with Don Juan, and then she said to Don Juan that she does not believe that Kenya Moore is lying at all in the situation. And so Kandi basically felt that moment is where, her and Porsha went left, because basically, it seemed like Kandi Burruss was supporting Kenya Moore and basically saying Kenya is not lying. And so this is where, Kandi basically says that Porsha, jumped out of the group Housewives, text group. You know what I mean? Like, their texts, they were always texting each other. They were all on the same accord. But after that episode, it looked like Porsha Williams opted out of the group text with the ladies. So basically, Kandi Burruss is feeling that since she said that on camera with Don Juan, that kind of really, made Porsha upset about the situation where, it seems like Kandi Burruss was actually picking a side in the situation. So she unfollowed, she opted out of the group text. So that would tell you that she feels a certain type of way. And I believe Kandi was saying that she said Kenya isn't lying. Well, I wouldn't say that Kenya is lying. Right after that episode, she opted out of the group text that all of the housewives were in. So I was like, oh, I guess she ain't talking to us no more. So I believe Kandi said, when she said that about Kenya Moore, when she said, well, I would not say that Kenya is lying. Kenya was actually in the episode. That's what Kandi says. I don't know how true that is, baby girl. But she said she was talking about the situation where Kenya Moore was supposed to be getting sued for defamation, and people were coming after, Kenya Moore and wanting to, put a gag order or want to, sue her, whatever the case may be. And you guys heard that Kenya Moore basically said some things of Porsha Williams is trying to silence her and things of that nature. But in any event, when it comes down to the whole situation, when they cut off the scene where Kenya Moore and Porsha was going back and forth about, what went on in the group text messages, they should have cut off the part where Kenya Moore was basically saying that she believes that Porsha's not really all here about Black Lives Matter. Like, she finds herself getting arrested in front of cameras on purpose. Like, she's always getting arrested on camera. And any event, and, needless to say, in them words, they should have cut that out. But I believe they didn't cut that out because they wanted to make it, the production wanted to make an issue out of that. So now Kenya Moore is getting attacked for being a hater on Porsha Williams, but she has a reason why she thinks that Porsha Williams is not really here for Black Lives Matter. She's just here for the spotlight, and she's here to be in control and in charge of, whatever Bravo does with Black Lives Matter. So in any event, I believe they left Kenya Moore part in, and they let her get attacked by the fans, and people like, oh my God, she's such a hater. But then for it to come full circle in the Vulture article, and then Kandi basically addresses the situation, then Porsha addresses the situation on her Instagram and basically said there was nothing negative, nothing low down, nothing dirty that her and Nene was discussing about Kenya Moore, point blank, period. She showed the text messages, and then you have Kandi saying a whole nother thing. So you guys let me know what you think about this situation. I was like, Lord have mercy, Kandi, just come out and say you don't like Porsha, you don't mess with Porsha. And I believe Kandi may be having some regrets. I believe that she may feel that she should have had Kenya Moore's back, because at the end of the day, her and Porsha ain't cool at this point. They may try to act like they're cool for season 14, if there's going to be a season 14. But in any event, she's not feeling Porsha. And she felt like Porsha lied on her, and she felt like Porsha was talking ish about her with Nene Leakes, and they were hating on her. So, stop faking the funk and just be real. You don't mess with Porsha, you don't mess with Phaedra Parks, and that's just the situation. Point blank, period. Peace and love to all my peeps and my peoples. And I think that's really it with the situation. But Kandi says that she gets stressed out about the situation when it comes, to doing the reunion. But she also says that she didn't know that the situation where Bolo was going to be like the end, the be all for the season. So it is what it is. I guess the season was dry. I guess I know.